Hey guys! So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to braid and how to braid well. I learned how to braid on myself before I tried braiding anyone else's hair. This is super convenient because you can never have a bad hair day if you know how to braid. Learning how to braid does take time, practice, and patience, so don't worry if you don't get it on the first try. Alright, so to get the basics down on how to braid, I'm going to show you how to do a half headband just because it's easiest to show on camera. So just to start, if I have a choice, I would braid towards my left since I'm right-handed, then if I was going to go towards my right because it's a little awkward. So the first step is sectioning off the hair. You definitely want to do this so that your braid is neat and precise because we don't want random and messy. So I know I said we're going to do a half headband, but we're actually going to do a 3/4 headband. So I'm just going to adjust my part to the arch of my eyebrow. And section off the back. And then I'm just going to tie the rest of my hair back into a ponytail. Since this braid is vertical, we're going to be starting with a straight line. So like this. And we're going to split it up into 3 sections. Oops. So the front piece is always going to be number 1, the middle piece is always going to be number 2, and the last one is 3. Now, there's 2 ways you can do a 3-stranded braid. You can do a French braid or you can do a Dutch braid. A French braid is also known as an innie because the strands show more and the braid will actually be inside. Whereas if we're doing a Dutch braid, we're going to go underneath. So the strands will show less, but the braid is going to stick out more. So that's what we're going to be doing. So first, we're always going to be switching with strand number 2. So we're going to start with strand number 1 and switch it with strand number 2. So now it's 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to take strand number 3 and switch it with strand number 2. Alright, here comes the French or Dutch braid part. We're going to be adding in hair. You don't want to be adding in big sections like this. The braid will look pretty ridiculous. So you're going to want to start with small sections and half of the whole part, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take half of this small section, add it into strand number 1, switch it with strand number 2, and flatten that out. Same thing with strand number 3. And there we go. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm just going to secure it with a rubber band. This is the half headband. So at this point, you can either leave it down, but I prefer to either tuck it in the back, or I would put it over and make it like a half up. So yeah, this is how you Dutch braid. As you can probably tell, I much prefer Dutch braids over French braids because I just find with Dutch that there's so much more you can do with it, which I'll show you guys later. Okay, so to start the Dutch ponytail, you're going to want to section off the top of your head, so from one arch of the eyebrow to the other, and back to the crown of your head. And brush that out, and section it into 3 sections. So now, the same concept, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take 1, switch it with 2. Make sure to go under if you're doing Dutch. And 3 with 2. You can see that this section is starting to bump up a little bit. You want to make sure that you flatten that down or else you're going to have a really awkward bump. So when you're first adding in hair, you're going to want to start from what you already have, this part. You're going to want to start from that point and make kind of like a triangular section. So if you can see that. And I'm going to comb it back. Add it into section number 1 and switch it with section number 2. Same thing. Okay, so now that you did your first 2 sections, you're gonna start adding in from underneath that first part. You want to do that so your hair isn't being pulled up too much. So once you get to about your ear, you're going to want to not divide the section up too much or else you're going to end up with your strands drooping a little bit, which looks kind of weird. So you want to just divide this into 2 and bring it further up, if you can see that. Same for the other side. Bring it up. So yeah, at this point you might have a strand that's a little bit smaller than the rest, but don't worry about it, it won't affect us later. So now I'm just going to tie it with an elastic. And here is where you have more freedom with your braid. So here you can see that each strand or stitch has a little corner. You can pull those corners out slightly to extend the braid and make it as big as you want. So since this is Dutch and not an any braid or a French braid, you can actually tug on these sections like that. The second hairstyle is super popular, the Dutch pigtails. I especially love this hairstyle for dance or working out just because it keeps all my hair out of my face. For this hairstyle, I'm going to be using gel just to avoid any possible flyaways. To start this hairstyle, you're going to want to continue your part all the way down to the back of your head. Then you're going to take an elastic and just section it away. Now that we have one side to start with, because we're going diagonally back, we're going to be sectioning off a triangular piece. And we're going to be splitting this up into 3 sections as usual. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3. We're actually going to be starting with the 3rd section this time, and I'll show you guys why. So 3 with 2, and 1 with 2. So the reason that we're going to be starting with section 3 is because when we start adding in hair, if we started with section 1, we'd be grabbing hair and we'd be grabbing some of the top section too, which is kind of annoying. So we're just going to grab the top first. Just going to be adding in some gel. Switch it to, oops. And now that we grab the top piece, we don't have to worry about that. We'll just grab underneath. And section 1 with section 2. And we can keep going on from there. Okay, so once you get to about your ear, you want to start grabbing more triangular sections like this rather than more rectangular sections. So I'm just going to grab from this point to about here. The reason for this is, well, you don't want to get to the middle of your head, you want to make sure that you get all the way down. So now that I did one side, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it helped. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, feel free to comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys!